Hi, I'm Jim and this is Jim's Fix-It Shop. Now, if you watched the previous video, you will notice I have a new cutaway. This is part of an engine to demonstrate working on the carburetor or the control bracket. I have another cutaway, and I've had a lot of people get a hold of me about removing the wheel flanges off of their machines, because we all know how these things rust on sometimes. This is a short axle. The long axle is 3/4 inch, and this is an inch. I can't remember this, sorry. This is 1 1/8 inches. And they said to get my wheel flange off, I went down to Harbor Freight and bought this big wheel puller to jerk this sucker off. Well, that's okay on the small diameter or the long axle. The short axle, you got an issue with this. Down inside of here, you can see there's a plug. Now, I always thought these were welded in, because, well, I had one once that kind of looked like there was weld in there. So I thought they welded them in to seal them, but they don't. And yes, this is another cutaway. We took this half off. And as you can tell, there's just 2 pieces of thin sheet metal with a rubber gasket between them. And they press them together and expands that piece of rubber and it seals it. Now, if you put a wheel puller down in there and press on that plug, there's a chance you can damage it or shove it down farther than what it's supposed to be. What you need to use, and they don't sell them anymore, but I make a few of them, is this plug. And it has 2 flats on it. And the flats are on there because a lot of times there's burrs on these holes. And if it was just completely round, it wouldn't go in there. As you can see, that's hitting right now. But if you turn it so them flats are lined up with the hole, it'll fall in. Now, you can push on this all you want. It has a center in it for the shaft on the wheel puller, because this is bearing on the end of the tube. As you can see, it's not touching that seal. So when you're pressing that, well, I should say when you're pulling the wheel flange off, you need something on the end of this tube so your shaft don't go in and hit on that seal. If you could find a thick, heavy steel washer, you could lay that on top of here and put your wheel puller on that. You want something on there to protect that seal. I just thought I'd throw that tip out there because for some reason lately I'm having a lot of people tell me while they're working on their machines and they've been using wheel pullers to pull them flanges off. If you damage this, then you're going to have to buy a new short axle, and they're pretty close to $100. So that was just a small tip I thought I'd throw out there just to help you guys out so you don't have an accident. And I guess that's it. The next video, I hope, is going to be on my turtle. And there it is. I think you can see it. I can't tell, as I can't see the screen. As you can tell, it's got an alignment problem. I have the linkages or tie rods unhooked because I'm working on this. Now, there was nothing wrong with this. I just took it out so I could show you how to put the new one in. These have a huge tendency to strip out right here. And this one, Well, if you look really close, you can see this has some wear right in here. And this is where they all strip out. Is when you have your steering wheel straight and you're going straight across your yard, apparently there's a little slop between the gear on the end of the steering shaft and this bracket. And it's just enough vibration that it wears these teeth right off. How much are these? I don't know. I didn't have to buy one because I got mine. Or I just tore it apart so I could show you how to replace it. I will say it's not easy. I don't want to spoil the surprise, but hopefully that will be the next video on how to put that back together. Taking it apart wasn't bad, but now you've got these extra parts. You've got the slide that this rack hooks into that lets it slide back and forth. Well, you can't get your hands up in there to get this slide back in position to get the bolts in it. So I'm working on a simple fix for that. There's a trick you have to do to get it apart. And I'll go over that when I do the video. So stay tuned and work safe. Have fun. Please subscribe. And I'll talk to you soon. So long.